How do computers really work? And do you even know the answer to this question? Because I didn't. I was a complete stupid guy and didn't really know how computers work. So I built this thing on my wall right here, which is my custom transistor computer, to really understand the fundamentals of computers so I can take my knowledge to the next level. And hopefully I can bring you here too. But they're so complex. So hopefully once I'm done with this video, you can kind of understand how computers work more, but it can also strike that curiosity, that fire, so you can learn more about it. So when you become an engineer, you can invent a cool computer that I can use. So that's what we're gonna go into this video today. How did I build this transistor computer on my wall right here? So let's go into a little dive so I can teach y'all each of the different components of it. It's very similar to the one I already made on this channel, but this one looks cooler because we got PCBs and we're sponsored. So we got sponsored by PCBWay. More about them later in the video. So this is my transistor computer wall. And in this episode, we're gonna talk about this specific transistor computer, the one in the middle, the one I am most proud of, the one that by far looks the best. It's made of all custom PCBs, custom designs, personal designs in order to make this simple transistor computer. Right now, the program that is running is just add one, save. And the clock cycle is 4 steps, and we're doing each of those steps twice per clock cycle. So it adds one, save, add one, save, repeat. And we're doing that over and over and over again. And as you can see on this side, this is the output side, the yellow LEDs. It is incrementing one by one. It's only a 3-bit transistor computer because I ran out of PCBs. This could easily be extended to 4-bit, 8-bit, and so on. You can infinitely add these up and up and up, although your opcode would be small for it. And then over here we have the clock, and then our program counter, which you can see it's just 2 T flip-flops, toggle flip-flops, and we're toggling them on and off just like that. And then it goes to our decoder, which then goes to our tri-state buffers. But this is the full transistor computer in its glory. So now we're going to talk about each of these sub PCBs and kind of exactly how they work. But if you watch my other video about my transistor computer, this is essentially the exact same thing. It's just on a PCB board, so you can easily be printed out and easily be copied if multiple people want to build this exact same machine. The way it's hung up on my wall too is a custom 3D printed just design, just to really hold it together. And then we glued these designs to the rest of them. And 3D printing and hot glue actually work really well together. So the design is sturdy enough for it to go on the wall, and also sturdy enough for me to pick it up off the wall and put it down on my desk in case I need to work on it. So now let me explain my design process for building this transistor computer. We're going to start with the soldering process, and then we're going to go into the 3D models of each of these circuit boards. So we can take a little dive to see how I made such a complex, not really complex, but pretty cool machine. So the soldering process for all of these PCBs actually took a long time because I had to solder each individual component onto it. And some of the components didn't work the first time I soldered it. I had a few broken transistors, so I had to resolder it a few times to get it all working perfectly right. But besides that, the PCBs were really good. They were good, and the solder actually stuck to them very nicely. So this is the ALU for our transistor computer. This is the 3D model right here. I use KiCad for the PCB software. And this is it. Basically, it's just a full adder. So we have the input pins, and then we have our 2 output pins, the carry pin and then the sum pin. And then we have our ground and our high voltage, of course, since that's how everything works. This one is the more compact design out of the ones I made. As you can see, it looks a little bit different than the one that I have on my wall. This one will save you money because it is a reduced size platform. So it will be easier for them to print out fully as a PCB. In which the size could probably reduce a little bit more, but I think that the size we have right now is pretty good. This right here is our flip-flop or our clock register, and oh boy, look how small this is. This thing is so compact, so small. All the electronics are as densely put together as possible in order to make this clock register, which works exactly the same as the one that's on the wall right here, just in a smaller platform. And this is our clock PCB2. As you can see, this is an A-stable multi-vibrator with an output, a high output pin. And that's essentially it. So you do get the clock PCB2 with the whole axis, even though I didn't make it on mine. This is the decoder right here too. So as you can see, this one's also densely packed. Decodes a 2-bit binary signal to 4 output signals. So there you go right here, 2 inputs and then all 4 outputs. Okay, and lastly we have my tri-state buffer design, which is this right here. So you have your input pins at the top, you have your enable pin, then your output pins at the bottom, which allows you to chain them all up. And then of course you have your ground and then your high voltage pins. So this is the tri-state buffer, and this is how it works in its full glory. Okay, and the last thing I want to show real quick is my 3D model of how I've like kind of anchored these into one big platform. And as you can see, we have this right here, which is just a little base of rectangles, and then we have these little triangles protruding up from it that I just kind of glued or either screwed to the ends of the PCBs. And all the PCBs have 4 holes in the corners, so in case you do want to mount it more securely with screws, you have that option to do it also. But glue seems to work fine because it's not really holding anything together. So glue works fine, but screws would also be a lot more permanent of a solution. But this is essentially what they all look like. This one right here, excuse me, is for the ALU, so that's why we have 3 of these. So let me tell you a little bit about PCBWay. This is the sponsor of this video. Without them, we could not have made the PCB transistor computer. So let me show y'all how to place an order. So let's say you want to make a custom transistor computer. You can also make it as nice and good looking as mine. So let's first of all go through it. They have also lots of different types of services: 3D printing, CNC, PCB. PCB is the one that we will be looking at right now. So we're just going to do a basic spec PCB because we don't need anything fancy. We don't need a 64 layer PCB, just 2. And then we're going to put in some dimensions. So this is arbitrary for me. Just the millimeter dimensions that you need, because that's how they go off the pricing. Then how many you need. 5 is the lowest count that they will send. 2 layers, and then all of this is more advanced specs. If you know you want something very specific, you can put that. If not, you can just leave it all default and it will still come out nice. So after that, you press calculate, and you're gonna press save the cart, agree, and then you're gonna upload your files right here to the Gerber files right here, and then it's gonna be in your cart, ready to order, and then they can ship anywhere in the world too. So that is how easy it is just to upload your files of PCBWay so you can get an order instantly. So thank you so much, PCBWay, for sponsoring this video. And if you use my referral link in the description, you can get $5 off your order, and it also helps me out with my orders on PCBWay. So this is a screenshot of it. All you gotta do is just go to this thing called referral program in the bottom, and you'll be ready to go. The link for that is also in the description, and then the link for the copy and paste the link you got to put in the referral program is also in the description. Okay, so I'm just going to give a little summary of how all this works as one complete unit, and then we're going to end the video. Like I said, if you want this exact schematic, it's in the shop in the description. If you want the PCBs, go to PCBWay so you can buy them. If you want to check out some of my other videos where I build more complex computers but in a simulation, please go check those out too. But let's go into a little dive about how this works step by step. So first, the clock signal is going to send a signal to our JK flip-flops, and then the flip-flops are going to alternate their states every clock pulse. So that's how you see it right here. And then these two are tied together so they make this synchronized pattern like this. This is fed into our decoder, where decoder takes this and then makes a single output signal from each of them. That's fed, all this information is fed to our tri-state buffers right here. And each of these output pins is connected to an enable pin on our tri-state buffer. So for each different clock pulse, we enable a different section of the CPU. And then let's say this section's enabled. That means its data is getting sent all the way to our ALU and registers right here, which this data is add 1, this one is save, this one is add 2, and this one is save. So that's essentially what is happening right now. And it's getting sent to our ALU and then to our registers right here. So excuse me, this one's still add 1. That's why I was kind of taking a break. It's still add 1. And then it gets sent to our registers. And then we have our little store pins right here. So the store is all hooked up to these store pins on a store bus. And then our add 1 pin is hooked up to our ALU's input pins right here. And then they're all connected together, chained together, in order to make this pattern right here. So like I said, that's it for this video. If you want to check out this exact schematic, please go to the shop in the description, and also please go to PCBWay. But thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully we can add an 8-bit computer using IC chips to the wall of computing next time.